I'm Craig Jones.
And I'm Devin Jones.
And we are a father-son team, and we do movie reviews, as you may or may not know. We're going to review the movie Skyscraper today. I didn't get to see the movie because I was working, but we had some early preview tickets, so this boy got to go with his grandma. Your grandma took you?
Aunt.
Oh, your aunt took you?
Yeah.
Okay. He went with my sister, and they went and saw the movie. So he will basically be reviewing the movie. I didn't see the movie, but I'm going to kind of ask him some questions.
This guy can, ask me questions and I'll answer them.
Right.
I'll talk about if it's appropriate for your little kids to go and all that. And so parents, this is not like Ant-Man. This movie is like, I'm not saying you have to be 13 to watch it, but don't take like your little 5-year-old kids to this movie. Is it
violent or something?
It's very violent. There's a lot of bloody images you see. People get stabbed in the leg with like scissors and stuff. There's a bullet hole you see in a guy's chest. It's violent, and it's a very intense movie. Like, at the very beginning, there's like kids dying, like young kids getting blown up.
Dang, really?
Yeah.
It's kind of morbid, man.
It's an intense movie.
So yeah, I guess I would agree. I guess if you have little kids, maybe you should wait and watch this at a later date.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of the movie?
Well, I didn't really like it,
Really?
but it wasn't a bad movie. It just wasn't really for me. I didn't really enjoy watching it.
Well, what was wrong with it?
I don't really know. I just didn't really...
Well, let's break it
I
down.
was kind of boring for me.
You were bored.
I was kind of bored. The story was kind of confusing. I don't know. The story's weird. It's strange, but it's weird that I was bored because this is like a heavy action comedy-ish movie, but I didn't really enjoy it.
So, what about the acting? How was the acting?
The acting was pretty good, I guess. I mean...
So why didn't you like this movie?
I don't really know. I just wasn't feeling it.
Was the action bad or anything, or was?
No, I mean, it's kind of slow, I guess, because it's almost like overused because they're constantly having The Rock climbing the building, going around it and stuff on the outside, and he keeps like almost falling, then catching himself and acting surprised and all. It's kind of overused in this movie.
So in a skyscraper movie, you're upset that the dude almost keeps falling off the skyscraper.
I guess.
So you just got tired of it after a while?
I guess.
Really?
And the scenes where he's climbing around the building are almost kind of boring at times.
Really?
And it's completely unrealistic. My dude's wrapping duct tape around his hands to stick to the walls, and he's like climbing like halfway around the building.
Are you serious?
Yes, duct tape's like a big thing in this movie for some reason.
Just use a lot of duct tape.
I wonder if they were sponsored by duct tape. Because he's like, well, if you can't fix it with duct tape, because he's like taping around his arm, so he's like, if you can't fix it with duct tape, use more duct tape, and like wrapping around his arm. And
interesting.
And he's like talking to himself throughout the movie.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, they get that from Die Hard, because Die Hard, John McClane was talking to himself the whole movie. Yeah. So that's
this
kind of...
does have a Die Hardy feel to it. Because,
Right.
they're in the building, he's trying to take over, to stop the terrorists and all that. And
I guess that would be, because they're terrorists, I guess. Is that what you're saying?
kind of.
So
They're bad people.
That's kind of where I would probably be hating on the movie, because Die Hard, you know me, and Die Hard, I love some Die Hard, and I'd probably be like, this ain't Die Hard.
I mean, it's not really
This ain't
supposed to be
Die
Die Hard, but you can kind of tell the guy was a little bit influenced from Die Hard, I guess. Because, I mean, they're climbing a giant skyscraper trying to save his family from people holding them hostage at the top.
I saw on the preview, that skyscraper looked ridiculous that it was that tall. It's like, there's no way I'd go in a building that was that tall.
I would.
You go in a building that tall?
I really wish that this building was real. It's so cool.
What was cool about it?
Like, they have, like, a park in it.
But don't give away the story, though. Just
I'm not going to give away the story. I'm just talking about the building. They have, like, a park where it's, like, an entire forest, jungly area, like, in the middle. And they have, like, a big waterfall at the top.
In the building, they got a waterfall?
In the building, they have a waterfall. And they only show you, like, 3 locations. They show you, the park area, and then they show you inside the big ball at the top. They show you the pearl, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And in the pearl, the guy that owns the building, he can press buttons and stuff and have like a bunch of like technology mirrors show up, and you like see yourself all around. It's really cool. And you can also make it so that the ball turns like completely invisible, so you can't. So it just looks like you're just flying.
Well, at the top?
Yeah.
Oh, skip that. Heck no, man.
I would be scared, but
that's like that on the Willis Tower, or
yeah,
used to be the
worse.
Sears Tower, where you stand out on that and look down, you see the ground.
It's even worse now.
Being that high up, no.
Yeah, you're like, I think the building's like 3 times the Empire State Building in this movie. Because they did like a thing where they're talking about different
Yeah, I
things
saw
in it.
that on the preview, and I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Like 3 times the Empire State.
So you just be up there feeling like you're that high up, just floating in midair?
Yeah.
That's your mom's genes in you right there, man.
I'd be scared as heck, but I'd be like,
no way.
I'm doing it.
Not
I'd do
me.
it.
That'd be crazy. So basically, say it's a lot of action, but you were still bored because is the action like cliche, like you've seen it before? Or is that?
Yeah, the action, it's very predictable with what happens in it. Yeah, it's very
Like a lot of jumping and almost falling and then catching yourself at last minute.
There's a scene that's in the trailer. This is like, it's kind of a cool scene because The Rock doesn't have a leg. It got blown off. This is the duct tape scene where he's sticking over to the wall. I'm not going to say why he's doing it because it's part of the movie. So, yeah. But he has the rope tied to the building, like on the inside of the room, and then there's another like latch on the outside that he tied the rope around. And when he's trying to get back to the room, the thing that he tied the rope around on the outside of the building snaps, and he's swinging down, falling, and he like hits his head on the glass, and it breaks a little bit, and that that like kind of knocked him out a little bit. So he let go, and he was hanging just by like his little robotic leg. And he's reaching up trying to get it, and then his leg snaps off of the robotic leg snaps off of his thigh, and he like flipped forward and just manages to grab it at the last second, and then he climbs himself back up into the room.
And what, you didn't like that?
No, that was cool.
I thought you didn't like it for some reason.
No,
It sounds like you like the movie. I don't
know how I feel about this movie.
Really?
I feel like neutral about it.
Neutral?
Like, I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it.
What did you think of the villains? Were they interesting? Because a movie like this, you kind of have to have good villains or it just doesn't work. How were the villains?
The main bad guy's voice, like he had like an accent, it was kind of weak. It was like, so I see you doing this. He didn't really sound like that. That was a bad impression. I think he's like Scandinavian or something, but he doesn't sound very good at it.
I don't really know what Scandinavian accents sound like off the top of my head.
It's not like what I just did. That was bad.
Okay, but so were they interesting at least, or were they just kind of there?
Like, I just didn't really care.
Like, you saw, he has seen Die Hard. It's R-rated. It is what it is. The villain in that, Hans Gruber, and all his little henchmen.
He's interesting.
Are awesome. Was there anybody in this movie that came even close to that? Because you can't make a Skyscraper movie with a dude inside of it fighting terrorists without having a really good, at least one good villain for him to square up against. Was there anybody, or was it just a Rock show?
Not really.
That may be what your problem is.
Oh wait, there is one villain. He's kind of interesting because you didn't know he was going to be a villain.
One of those. Were you surprised that he was a villain?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay, well that's good.
you don't see him that much.
Well, that's good though. If you didn't know he was going to be a villain, then hey, that's good.
Yeah.
Then they did something right.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the movie's just really dumb.
Yeah, it's kind of cheesy, especially with all the duct tape things. He's talking to himself.
It's cheesy and dumb, and you just weren't feeling that. So, what's your verdict?
My verdict is this movie was kind of a misfire for me.
Why would you say it's a misfire?
I don't know. It's like the movie was really well made. It looked good. It was expensive as heck to make. But, it just bored me. I wasn't very intrigued to know what happens because, you already know what's going to happen at the end. You kind of you just know.
So what you're saying is sometimes big budget action explosions and high production value aren't enough. You need story.
Yeah.
The boy's smart.
You can't just be like, hey, what's up with this? And then, but then have the story be about a banana peel that was on the floor that a guy slipped on and was mad at it and went on a murderous rampage.
Yeah.
It has to.
Maybe we could do that.
That'd be actually kind of.
Yeah, we could probably do that. Yeah.
That'd be funny, but no.
But so basically, do you think other people would like the movie? if
this movie wasn't really for me, but I think some people would like this movie.
Right, but it was just too dumb and boring for you.
Yeah, I didn't really care.
Yeah, you just didn't give a crap what was going on.
Because sometimes, now that I'm getting older and actually have emotions, sometimes when I see movies, I actually feel for the characters in this. In this one, I didn't.
You didn't feel for anybody?
No, I was like, well, he's dead. I don't care.
What about when, like, because I know the wife and kids are in danger. Did you care about them at all, or no?
I'm like, these are actors. I don't care.
I kind of like the girl who plays his wife in the movie. I can't remember his, like, Neve something, or she hasn't been in a movie that I've seen in a long time. She was always a really good actor, I thought.
Yeah, she's good in the movie. Just
But her character's not good. You just didn't like the movie.
I just didn't care.
Right. Okay. I feel. Hey, we're honest here on the show.
Yep. Like, I don't have empathy because The Rock doesn't have it. Like, I don't care.
So ultimately,
Doesn't
you're
bother
saying they tried really hard, they did a good job, everyone did their best, but it's still a misfire.
I think this is what they did. They tried hard to make a copy of Die Hard. But didn't
Well,
do it very well.
nobody should really try and copy Die Hard.
Like, when I first saw the trailer for it and I was seeing him holding a rope over a window, I was like, they better not be remaking Die Hard.
If they call it Die Hard, yeah, I'd have been mad.
Yeah, that was the first thing that I thought of when I saw
I'm telling you,
it.
honestly,
Like,
the preview made me want to see it because I love Die Hard. I was like,
I
oh, The Rock's
also-
gonna do some Die Hard stuff. That's what I kind of wanted to go, but
No, but he's not very interesting in this movie. He doesn't really do a lot of cool things like
McClane did.
yeah.
Yeah, McClane had to think a lot.
Yeah, John McClane, that's the name, right?
Yeah, John McClane, yeah.
John McClane. He's like in the vents, crawling around, like writing on his
Right.
arm and stuff.
Because it's
and-
well written.
Yeah, it's very. He thinks a lot and does a lot of interesting stuff. In this movie, the main character, he doesn't do anything like John McClane would do. He's like climbing around, just trying to open up doors and.
So he's not like out thinking the criminals or anything. The movie is
No.
just carrying him along.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. You know,
Like-
that's writing. That separates good writing from lazy writing.
Like, the criminals are like telling him what to do, like he's doing these crazy
Really.
things because the criminals are telling him to do something because they're gonna, kill his daughter. But
And he's just not outsmarting them. He's just doing what he's supposed to do and
Yeah.
then fighting them when it comes time.
he's
and-
just finding out ways to do what they're asking him to do. And like, I don't really want to diss this movie because it's not that bad, but I just didn't like it. It wasn't for me.
It's just
No offense to The Rock. I like The Rock, but didn't work for
everybody
me.
likes The Rock. Come
Everybody
on, everybody. You gotta kind of like The Rock.
I know.
Even if you don't like him, you like him. You know you do. The Rock's cool.
yeah. But I
And he's in
didn't-
every damn movie that comes out, man. I swear he's had like 5 movies out this year. Every time I turn around, The Rock's in a movie.
Yeah.
But,
in a lot of
well, okay. So that's an honest, fair assessment. Now I'm probably not going to watch it because you told me that.
Still watch it.
Nah, man.
I want to
there's-
see what your
There's
opinion
other
is.
movies I
about the
want to
movie.
see. I don't care about that movie. Like I said, I wanted to see it because it looked like Die Hard to me.
Yeah,
And now you're
but-
telling me that all the things I love about Die Hard are not in this movie,
think
so I
the-
don't really want to.
But like the actual things like Die Hard that he does, I think the only thing is putting duct tape around his hands and climbing on the outside of the thing.
But that high up, they would not hold you. Duct tape, you'd be done. You'd be toast.
And cause he's like climbing like halfway around the building, and this is a big building, and he's just
Dude,
going
he'd
like,
be toast, man. He'd be toast.
yeah, he put duct tape on his feet, on his
no,
hands.
he'd be done, man. That would not hold him. Big ass rock? No. I gotta stop swearing. Big old rock? No, that's not gonna hold him up there. No.
Like he had a rope tied to him just in case. I mean, so
Oh, well, that makes it all that much. But yeah, I don't want to see this movie.
it's kind of dumb.
Yeah, I'm not trying. The Rock? That's like some rope and a duct tape's gonna hold him? No, that's not
doesn't
gonna
work.
No. Does he? Don't give it away. Does he at least use his bionic leg in some ingenious way to save his own life or anything? Or
Yes, he does.
Okay, you don't have to tell me what
I'm
it
not
is.
gonna say.
If they don't do that, then I was like, okay, then total thumbs down for me.
I mean, I kind of knew, and I knew it was gonna happen.
But it's predictable.
Yeah.
One more time for the people at home. What did you think?
This movie was a misfire for me. It didn't work out. I didn't really like it.
Now comes the part of the video that I hate, but he insists on doing. Go ahead.
Smash the like button and punch subscribe and tap the bell. Sorry. We're just doing this for fun. Yeah. Having a good time and like helping parents understand if they can take their kids to this movie, if it's appropriate. They do swear a lot in this movie also. They say the F word once,
Oh.
and
So
they're saying
this
S
is one
words
of those
and
movies that
D
earns
words
its
throughout it.
PG-13 rating, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I feel you. So there you have it. A kid's review of Skyscraper. just because I couldn't get out of work.
It's a kids review of an adult movie.
Of an adult movie. Yeah, I wish I could have gone. I'm sorry, but that food you eat, I kind of gotta
Oh,
pay for it somehow. So, and these Reebok clothes. I know this is your uncle gave this to you, but still, it's okay.
Buy more.
All right. So until next time, go to the movies, eat some popcorn, have a good life, and
We'll see you next time.
we'll see you next time.
On Artsy Home Movies, father-son review.
All right, that's good.
On Artsy Home Movies, father-son review.
All right, that's good. That's good.